What's going on, guys? Chandler's Legacy Farm here, and I've got a lot of things to unpack here. We are going to be comparing this knife that I just got to a lot. I mean, well, there's 9 other knives here that I'm going to be comparing this knife to. All right, some of them are not real good comparisons, but I'm just wanting to throw it out there and hear me out. This is the zero tolerance knockoff, okay? This is the package mine came in. All right, let me get up here where I can show you guys exactly what, let me see. Make sure I got it turned the right way. All right, that's what we're working with right there. All right. It is the zero, this is what it is on Amazon. It is the NOXOZOQM 0006 full tang fixed blade tactics knife. Camping, hunting, that's what it all says. I'm sure you guys can pause the video and read what it just said on the box, all right? But it's it's the knockoff, right? Well, I've watched a bunch of videos on this knife. Whenever the actual zero tolerance knife came out, it was the first video I watched was from Gideon's Tactical, and it was right at a year ago, okay? And that knife, when I saw it, I fell in love with it. I just wanted it. I really wanted it. Then when I found out the price on it, $330 is what they're going for right now. Yeah, I'm not going to swing that. American-made CPM 3V steel. I don't care. I'm not going to swing $330 on a fixed blade knife. Not whenever there's so many more options out there that is a whole lot less money than that are, in my opinion, just about as good. Some of them aren't, but some of them are. And a lot of it depends on, what you're looking for, materials that goes into it, size, just different things. But I'm never going to spend $330 on a fixed blade knife. That's just me. I just don't have the money to throw at something like that. I just don't. I've got too many arms in the fire in other places to have that kind of extra money laying around. I just don't have that to do. I'm not saying I'm poor. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm not saying I'm stubborn. I'm just saying that I'm not going to throw that kind of money at a knife, at a fixed blade knife. I'm just not going to do it. The most expensive knife I own, I did pay $200 for, and that is my Essie Hungless. All right? I mean, how can you go wrong there? It's a great big giant chopper of a knife, right? You feel like you actually have something for your money because it's such a big, capable knife, okay? That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, your standard 6-inch knife, yeah, I'm not gonna spend $330. Okay, all right, I'll get off of that. It's not gonna happen. So then, a few months back, a couple months ago, I saw Peterbilt Knife Guy. He done a comparison between the real one and the fake one that just came out, right? And then the Sharpest Edge. He's a knife guy, and I watched his video just last night, and he does a great speak about the knife industry on his video. Check it out for sure. It's the Sharpest Edge, and it's a great video. So I've watched a lot of videos on this knife. So if you're watching this video, you're probably like me. You've already checked out all those other videos also. So this will be my take on it, but it's interesting. Everyone's different views, right? So anyway, with no further ado, all the ones I've saw has came in a box that says ZT on it, right? Zero tolerance. Mine come in this from Amazon. That is all it was. That wrapped in an Amazon, paper bag shit thing that they send everything in. And then it came literally just like you see here, except for the knife itself was in plastic and it had some oil on it. on the blade, right? And there was actually a little bit up here on the handle too. But that is what I got, you know, except for this. The knife I said was slid down in the sheath and in plastic. So I didn't get no actual fake ZT box is what I'm getting at. So we get rid of that shit. We don't need that. So here's the knife. No further ado. It is identical to all of the rest of the ones that I have saw. It is identical except for one aspect, okay? The rest of them I've seen had ZT in the sheath right here, okay? This one does not have that. And this one is set up identical to all the rest of the knockoffs that I've seen. The sheath is identical to the drain hole. It is identical. Just does not have that fake logo right here, okay? No more fake logo on this one. And on the blade itself, they also had stamped ZT right there. And on this side, it has stamped CPM 3V steel and some other words that was stamped right there, right? It wasn't etched in it there. That's the way Peterbilt Knife Guy explained it. It didn't look like it was etched in there like the actual zero tolerance. It was like stamped on it. You know, maybe I don't understand. I don't know how else to say it. It was like stamped on there instead of actually etched into the blade. But this is the exact knife that you will see on everybody else's, you know, comparisons to the real zero tolerance, right? And what this is like a tactical, you know, fighting knife, you know, military style knife. But as you could see in a Gideon's tactical video, you can really get some woodwork done with this. I mean, this would be an okay, I'm going to go okay woods knife, all right? It's not going to be a woods knife, but it will work in that aspect. Now, it doesn't have a sharpened spine, so you're not going to scrape your fat wood. You know, it's a little, there's a little swedge right through here. There's a little swedge, and that is actually a little sharp. You might be able to scratch fat wood with that and strike your fire steel. I don't know. We will find that out whenever I actually do a little testing with this knife. Woodworking, try to build a little fire with it. I'm going to, you know, I'll be putting that out soon. But I think I can strike a fire steel right here off this, whatever the hell that is. That's not a finger choil, because you ain't going to get your finger in there without slicing your finger off right there. Anyway, that little there, that I think that will strike a fire steel, I believe, right there. But as far as being put together, one of the biggest things that Peterbilt Knife Guy said was look for a gap right here in the guard. And if you look close, you can see right there, there's definitely a gap. So I mean, this is the same damn knife. They just didn't stamp it on either side. It is the same knife that they were sending out in a ZT, excuse me, in a ZT box that had stamped logos on it. All they did now is take all the logos off. I don't know what happened. I don't know if ZT got onto them and said, hey, you're going to have to quit stamping our shit on your shit, right? I don't know. But either way, this one has no stamping on it, but it is the exact knife. And it says on Amazon, it says on the website, on Amazon, it says that it is CPM 3V steel. I'm like everybody else. There's no way in hell that's what it is. It is most likely D2 steel. Maybe DC53 is. I've also heard that number thrown around too from other YouTubers. So I'm thinking D2. That's what I'm thinking, just like everybody else. Fit and finish, from what I can tell from watching other videos, this one is just as comparable to every other one of the knockoffs, and they are all done well. I mean, very well done. It came screaming sharp. They're very, very well done. And as the sharpest edge in his video, as he said, American knife makers needs to take note that China can do something, and they can make stuff, I mean, just about as good as what we can, you know, and they're selling it for $55. So the knife market, the American knife market, is going to have to do something, or they're not going to, in his words, ride this wave very long, okay? people are going to just get wise to it. And whenever they realize they can buy a product that's just as good for way less than half the price, you know, sales are going to drop. So prices on some of these American-made company knives, they need to kind of take hold on what's going on here, because like he said on you know, it's not going to be long before China's going to be able to get a hold of something other than D2 steel. They're going to be able to get a hold of all the steels like we use, you know, here in America, and it's going to get ugly for some of these American knife makers. Is my opinion. Okay. Sheath. Everyone has said that the sheath on this knife is just as is better than the new one, right? Or than the real one, I should say. So yeah, listen. Just barely any rattle at all. Barely any rattle at all. And it will hold itself in. I don't care how hard I try to make it come out, it will not come out. This sheath is done better than the zero tolerance sheath. Hands down, this is done better. It is a better sheath, hands down, than what zero tolerance puts out on their knife. Hands down. I mean, listen to this. Listen to that snap. Listen how hard that snaps in there, you know? It's in there. I don't know, guys. I don't know. As bad as I hate to say it, China's got their shit together on some things. They really do. I hate to say it. I really do. I hate to say that, but I don't know, guys. But, so, back to some comparisons, okay? So, a lot of people are hung up on just buying, you know, American, right? So we'll move the sheath out of the way. All right. Now, this is not much of a comparison. This is like a Woods survival knife, right? This is the SE6. Everybody knows what an SE6 is, right? So this is, you know, $100-something knife, $10.95. You know, this is probably D2. This is going to be maybe a little tougher than their $10.95, but I doubt it with their row and heat treat that they do on these. It's sure this will be a little more rust resistant than this, but give me some SE 1095 every day. But anyway, I'll show you right there from the blade edge. You can see, you know, your SE cutting edge is a little longer. All right. And it actually has a usable finger choil. I know some finger choils, some people love them, some people hate them. I like them, but I can do without them too. I mean, I'm either way on that. But, you know, this is more of your Woods style survival knife. This is more of your combat survival knife, right? So that's what you're looking at with an SE6 as compared to this. Naturally, it's a little larger, okay? Now, we get into the same instance with this knife, okay? We get into the same instance as what we have right here. The Buck 119 and the Harbor Freight Wannabe Buck, you know? I mean, they're so close to the same. So close to the same. And this one, the Harbor Freight, from all the testing I've seen, it's just as good as the actual Buck, right? I think it's got some sort of mystery steel. I don't remember if anybody ever actually figured out what kind of steel this is made out of, but it works is what I'm getting at. And you know, $100 or no, $60 to $80, hell, I don't know, 60, 70 bucks, I think, for a buck, and you can get this at Harbor Freight for 25 bucks. So, you know, that's not near the comparison of, you know, what I'm getting at here for 55 as compared to 330, but it's still the same instance, right? Your biggest difference that you can see on this is it actually has the finger grooves, and this one doesn't. And you know, this one's got the black around the brass or the silver, and this one don't. You know, the sheath is almost as good as a Buck sheath. So okay, we'll compare the Buck. Look at that. Look at that. Now, if you're buying this knife to be a fighting style knife that you still want to be slicey, a good slicey knife, the thickness on this as compared to a Buck is almost identical. They're almost the identical length. They have the identical cutting edge. And this is a hollow grind as compared to an almost completely full flat. This is going to slice just as well as this. This is probably going to pierce better than this because of the tip. So, you know, and it has a guard. So, you know, American made company. Sure, if you bought the actual zero tolerance, you're going to have the CPM 3V steel, right? But this 440 or, yeah, 420, I don't remember what the hell it is. It's one of those two numbers. This steel here has been holding up for buck for years, you know, I mean, just saying. Then if you want to stay a little more tactical, right, you can move into your Gerbers. I know they're not near what this is, but you know, you could move into your Gerber knives. You know, you've got a little shorter blade. Of course, this one has serrated edge. This is the LMF2, you know, but it is a tactical survival knife. That's what I'm getting at. Tactical survival knife. Or if you can find one, or if you get them on Amazon, you can go with the Prodigy. You know, if you don't like a knife with a real long handle, I wear large to extra large gloves. And you can see how much handle I got sticking out there. Well, look at this Prodigy. See there? Almost the same amount of handle sticking out. The handles on them are, I mean, virtually identical. The handles are. Blade thickness, right at the same. Sure, a little shorter blade. You're going to be sacrificing a little bit of blade length there for sure, right? But, I mean, you can strike a fire steel with it. It's a tactical knife that you can strike a fire steel with. You can strike a fire steel with every one of these Gerber knives, and still made in America. Sure, not CPM 3V, but American-made company either way. The strong arm, the Gerber strong arm. You know, how can you go wrong with a Gerber strong arm? There you go. Handle lengths, almost identical. It's just a little shorter in the blade. Now, this is more of a saber grind, so it's probably not going to be quite as slicey as this, you know, but American-made tactical knife for, you know, 80 bucks. I think that's what they're going for on Amazon right now. It's right around 80 bucks, I think. You know, I don't know. Why Zero Tolerance thinks they need to charge $330 for a knife just like this. I just can't, I can't wrap my mind around it. I'm sorry. Then, you know, if you don't mind to have something a little, you know, a little different, you can always go with cold steel. This is CPM 3V, and I got this for like 150 bucks, 120, 130. Hell, I don't know. It was not over $200. You know, I think it was 100. I think I got it on sale for 120 or something like that. But it's CPM 3V steel, you know, and you don't have to get this orange. That's just what my preference was. You can get it in black with the silver blade, you know, with a regular, you know, uncoated blade. But I mean, look what you got going on there. They're nearly identical. This one in CPM 3V in the cold steel is actually a little bit thicker, has a little thicker stock. These are, excuse me, these are great, you know, tactical fighting knives also. But the way the guard is made on these is compared to this, you can actually get your thumb over it and you can get some serious woodwork done with one of these. These are a great bushcraft knife. Great, excellent bushcraft knife. And like I said, with the rubber overmolded grip and all the stippling or texture that is on the grip, you know, and the little finger guard, I mean, it's a great tactical knife also. So, you know, you want CPM 3V, there's your answer. If you don't want to spend like $330 for one of these, right? I understand, you know, it's kind of a lot different style of knife, but you end up with the same length of cutting edge. Now this is going to be a little slicier than this, but I mean, that's it. And of course, you know, it has bolted on G10 handle scales instead of rubber, okay? Then, now this is not maybe quite as good a comparison as what I've got else here, but this is the HK6 from BPS. All right, it has finger grooves. You know, naturally wood handle, but it has finger grooves. You know, and so you could flex this into a fighting knife. You really could, a tactical style knife. It doesn't look it, but I mean it would flex into that role quite easily. All right, It's got some jipping up here. Now it is a little shorter blade, and the blade on it is a little thinner. Okay, so that's why I'm saying this might not be as good a comparison. But size wise, you're close, you know. And you can buy these. They're Ukraine, made in Ukraine. You can buy these every day for $50 or less. You know, sometimes $35. And this one is in HCR 14 MOV, I believe it is, something like that. So it's a stainless steel. You know, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. You know, and then you know if you want to stay with something that's kind of got a smaller grip and you don't like the finger guards, you can always buy the BPS Adventure Nighthawk Edition. You know, now this one does not have this one has a Scandi grind, so it is not going to be as slicey as this. I promise you that. But, you know, check it out. They're not that far off. They're not that far off. But anyway, those two may not be as good a comparisons as some of these others, but they're out there and they're the same price, and you know, as what this knockoff is what I'm saying. So there's a lot of blades out there that are very good, very well known, knives that have stood the test of time for a whole lot less than $330. I love the looks of this knife. I love the shape of the knife. I love the geometry of it. I love everything about it. But I will never pay $330 for one. Call me a cheap ass all day long, but it's not happening. So when this come out for $55, it was $45. It was $45, and I left it in my cart forever, and the seller that was selling it for $45 ran out of them. The next closest seller that was selling these knives were selling them for $55. So I got this one for $55. All right. $55. Mystery steel, probably D2. Is it going to be a great knife? I believe it will. We're going to do some fire. We're going to do some, you know, I'll build a fire with it and do a little batoning. I'll do another video with it pretty soon. But I just wanted to show you some options out there and kind of get on my own little soapbox and say, you know, there's great options out there that you don't have to go spend $300 something. I'll go ahead and piss off even more people here. I don't care about Benchmade. Don't care one bit. Every bit of everything Benchmade. I love a lot of Benchmade knives. I love a lot of them. A lot of their models I love, but I'm not spending Benchmade money. I'm not spending my money on I'm not spending that kind of money on a knife. I'm just not going to do it. Call me stubborn, call me cheap, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I'm just not spending that kind of money. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I just want to show you some comparisons, talk about how things are going with you know, knife manufacturing from what I see. But anyway, that's it, guys. There it is, $55. You know, go buy you 6 of them and throw one in every vehicle. Throw one in your side-by-side. Throw one in your saddlebag. Throw one in your four-wheeler. Go buy 6 of the damn things for the price of one. I'm just saying. You would have to beat the shit out of 6 of these to break all 6 of them. I'm just saying. You know? Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. Chandler's Legacy Farm. If you like what I've been doing, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And be watching. You know, I'm going to make a fire making video with this one. So, all right, guys. I'm out of here. And we will see ya. Maybe.